Dyslexic genius here. What I'm going to talk about is building a lift lever for an Amberola A1, and this mounts into the cabinet. And it goes like this, and you take the crank out, and you can lift the motor up, and this will hold the motor. And then there's a place on the chassis to hold the motor so you can work on it. Well, one doesn't have one, so I had to, and these aren't available, so then you have to play hacksaw and file and drill press. You could do this at home. This is 1/8 steel, and it's about 1.25 inches. And then I use veneer calipers, and I put layout die, and I figured out how wide this piece had to be, right here. And then I figured out how wide the right angle piece had to be. So I had a little milling. If you're at home, you can mount that. You can mount this in a vise. And I've done this in the top jaws of the vise. You can just hacksaw it out and just finish up the edges with a file. I built this end piece here. This is the piece here. I built a new one. What I did was I drew everything out, and I measured, it's 1 inch by 1 inch. And then I heated it up with cherry red with a butane torch, and I just put it in the vise like this, the jaws on the vise, and I just bent it over a little. And then after it cooled down, I figured out that this piece here was bending a little, so I just put it in the vise, put a crescent wrench on it, and just pulled it back into alignment. I used a square to check the alignment, so these are both at 90-degree angles. And then these have a press pin in them. I have to finish that. And then I carved this out on a belt sander, but you can do this at home with a file. It takes a long time. And then I carved this piece out to match that piece, and that literally was hacksaw and file. And I just drew it out like that and matched it. This is where the motor fits. So all I did was lay this up. You can take a sewing needle and just put some black ink marker on there and draw it out. Then you just start filing. And this took some time, but I had to create this. Last thing I'm going to do is build a pin. It has a pin in it that lets this arm move, but it's locked in here. I'll have to do that in the last. These aren't gold plated. These are just spray painted gold from the factory. So I'll have to paint this gold for the customer. But this is what can be done if you take some time with a hacksaw and a file. It's a lot of fun to make. I love making a part to make a part. You ask Mrs. Angel, she'll tell you all about that. And that's my tip for the day.